Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Community Watch on Metro TV with me, Gabriel. Ni obodaya topra atunam togba shonkwa osonu. And I'm doing this together with Rosemary Koko Anyigba, Joshua Tariadom, and Joseph Frimpong. Today we bring you good news. I'm coming your way from the Ablekuma Central Municipality. Right ahead of me is the Accra Academy Senior High School. And behind me is the GRA office, the Ghana Revenue Authority's office within New Abossey, Okai. A few months back or weeks back, we brought you a situation which had become very contentious amongst residents and business owners at this very point. We have the highway from Malam Junction towards Kandishi right ahead of us, where a drainage situation was quite poor and perennial flooding was the norm, where anytime there was a downpour, this place became flooded and was much worry to residents. We had heated exchanges here, but all was in a bid to ensure that the situation was addressed and for proper drainage system to have been created or to be created. Fortunately, today there has been an attention given and a solution found, albeit for the time being, that in the near future there will be a permanent solution. So we shall bring you what the situation is now, what has happened since our last visit. But before we interact with my guests, I want you to join me to watch what the situation was the first time we came around, so that you come up to speed with us all. Then we speak to them on the progress made so far. This is Community Watch on Metro TV. We get you results. Continue watching.
Edward Baye is my name.
Okay.
I'm a resident here, lived here for 50 years now.
For 50 years?
50 years when this house was built. And the history is that before this, the CP constructed a road. Then we experienced it flooding below the knee level. But later on, what I'm seeing is that the emergence of the car dealers from here to the first light, what they are doing is that they are mounting structures on the waterway. So right now what is happening is that it's driving the water backwards and onto the main road. Right now when it rains heavily and it floods and you look at the main road, the water all from this angle, Mataiko and so on, they go across the road. They even run across the road, making the road immotorable. It's unbelievable. So this is what I want to inform the necessary authorities, that the structures on the waterway must be removed immediately so that at least we will have a relief before they think about giving us a drainage system. The same assembly is the one who did this, who came and dressed this. Mm-hmm. And now right now it's a death trap. Right now if anybody is crossing this bridge and it falls, if anybody is crossing and it falls into the water will drive him under the drain to the other end. You see, this is not the way they should have done it. If you know you are digging, what do? Make sure you do it well. But you come and do this and then you say you solve the problem. Because we have to go and hire excavator. How? Upon all the money that we spent to go and hire excavator, and now you come and then we are expecting that you are going to do a cut through to the other end. They didn't do anything about that.
To allude to that, maybe the settlement of this car dealers is the cause of the flooding. I beg to differ. But I beg to differ that...
you don't acknowledge that they've put up...
No, you have finished talking to them. You are talking to a person. What I'm saying that the claim by the residents that the settlers or the car dealers' presence here is the cause of the flooding, I beg to differ. Okay.
Why?
Yeah, I beg to differ. So I had a physical planner here. He will respond to that.
No, but you have mentioned that you beg to differ. So you should offer a reason for that.
The drainage system here is purely underground drainage system. So whatever on the surface here has nothing to do with the flooding.
The observation by the residents that since the inception of this wall, the situation has also worsened is a wrong observation by those who stay here. Is that what you are saying?
Context. They are speaking out of technical context.
So the observation, someone who has lived here for about 50 years, acknowledging that the erection of a wall has worsened the flood situation, means that he's made a wrong observation.
Was he able to establish the day or the period this thing started, so that we can juxtapose it with the construction of the particular bridge? I am here. I am disaster management officer. I admit that flooding in this area happens, but the such increase in the flooding, I am telling you that they are under root cause, and which we are trying to address.
The issue of they being here, their existence here, is causing the flood. I am, for me, I have, I don't even know the word to exactly. I have an issue with that. We, the assembly, as you are aware, we have the responsibility to ensure that there's sustainability within the municipality. In fact, here, as you can see, it's a reservation. It belongs to the government.
Officer, if this place is to be a reserve is supposed to be left as it is, so that there wouldn't be structures on the reserve.
Yes.
And now, as it is, we see several structures, and we've also then acknowledged that there is an issue of flooding.
Yes.
It is the responsibility of the assembly to ensure that the reserve is kept as it is. But the assembly, the Ablekuma Central Assembly, is overseeing encroachment on the reserve, and the original problem of perennial flooding still persists, and perhaps even compounding.
Yes.
So that purpose of considering it as a reserve is no longer being observed and followed by the assembly, because you've given permit to the developers, have you, to be on the reserve?
Okay, I think whatever that you are saying is that is your mind. But
you mentioned that this place is to be a reserve.
You are saying
unless you didn't give reason.
You are saying we have given permit to them.
He mentioned, so maybe you can clarify.
You are, adding to that, and I'm saying that.
So have you given permit to them or not?
What you are saying, what you have said, you are speaking out of your mind. Okay.
It's not out of my mind, based on what he said. So have you given permit to them or not?
The matter as to whether they are given permit or not, that is a matter to be determined later. Because we
but you are from the assembly. Yes, unless you are not in a capacity to say, even though you are from the assembly, to say that you've given them permit or not. Have you given them permit to be here or not?
I'm sure you are aware that Ablekuma Central is just it's just barely 3 years old or so.
Government is continuum. Ablekuma Central was part of a bigger system.
Yes, but if a permit was granted by our predecessor, which is AMA, our mother assembly, I'm sure we cannot stand here and be able to tell you whether they have permits, they were given permit or not.
No, you should be able to. If 3 good years and this matter has persisted, you should be in a capacity. After all, Ablekuma Central was part of AMB. Yes. It was considered as a sub-metro. So when assemblies are working, they work through the sub-metro. So you should be in a position to tell us that this point has a permit or not. Do they have permit to occupy the reserve land or not?
That's what I'm saying, that on records, because we are still, Ablekuma Central, we are not, old enough. You understand? We are in the process of regularizing all the structures that are within our jurisdiction, as far as permitting is concerned. And it will interest you to know that.
So you can't tell if you've given them permit or otherwise?
No, we have to check. We will need to even liaise with the AMA, our mother assembly, to see, because as we speak now, there wasn't any records, handed over to us from the assembly saying that this structure you see here has permit or not. You understand? So we are here. We will liaise with them and we also ask them to submit whatever, if they so have, to submit whatever documents that they have to enable us, make a meaningful conclusion out of the. But for now, I cannot say whether they were given permit. But as far as I am concerned, we are starting from the time that we came, have not given issue permits on any temporary structure around here. Let me show you something. Yes. This is the picture number 1.
Okay.
From this stretch,
up to here, this is how it looks like. You see the entire rubbish. You see the way it is. So now, this is the way it looks like.
Okay. That's how it used to be. Or
that's how it used to be.
okay.
Before this, let me show you the pictures. Now from here, you can see how it is. This point is here.
Okay.
Now, this year, March, April, the owner of this facility came to us, and it has to do with the silting of this place and the flooding. We formed a committee. We had about 3 or 4 discussions with him. Then we went in for machines. And then this was what we did. When we came, this was how the place looks like. And we did the desilting. Why? To make sure we wouldn't experience that kind of flooding. That is what we have done. Now, with the current situation, the same committee with NADMO, with Garrett, with Hydro, and the Assembly, myself, we came here, and him, the owner of the 2 facilities, they were part of the team. We took a walk from here, right, all the way to the downstream and did assessment together. I have all those reports there with pictures. And after the exercise, we all sat down and concluded that this is a massive engineer drain. That has to do with, we call something storm drain. Storm drain. If we want to solve this issue holistically, then we needed a storm drain. And that is the lasting solution. This work is beyond our assembly.
That's the storm drain you had mentioned that needs to be done.
The storm engineering drain is beyond the assembly.
Great, so welcome back. You've seen the interactions as they unfolded then and what the problem really was. Today, the situation is not as you saw it or as it used to be. There is real-time difference. I have with me here the same persons we spoke with the other time, Edward Baye and then Kwantimpong Ventures with us here. Well, then there was heated exchanges. I don't know if the situation is same, but what has happened since then?
Okay, we thank you first, the media, for bringing the government's attention and filming the problem that we have in the area. And our thanks also go to the GRA landlord. He brought the money and funded everything that we're doing here now with the supervision of the Ablekuma Assembly. We thank all of you. We are grateful that right now the drains have been done until maybe it rains heavily before, maybe if there's anything otherwise, then we can bring our thoughts. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy. But the only problem now I have is that where they made a connection into the main drain, right now if you look at the main drain joining the one to the first light, the whole drain is choked. And then I think we need the assistance of the Hydro and AMA to come and desilt it so that at least we will have a free flow. We've seen some difference.
So we've heard from Sir Edward, and he's explained to you what has been done about the drain. He is a resident here, and as well there are business owners here, car dealers here. They were also a core stakeholder when we came initially, and we have some of them here to also share their inputs. Hello and welcome to Metro TV's Community Watch.
We've seen an improvement, but the point is now, it has not rained ever since this construction. So we are waiting for the rains to see whether the drainage is good. And like you are saying, after everything, it has not rained. The sun has not sunk down for us to see where the loopholes are. So all we are waiting now is for heavy rains to come for us to see. But we've seen that
test it.
Test it, yeah. So like we are saying, we've been able to buy chippings just to beautify the place so that after the rains and whatever, if we need more, we can go ahead.
You can see the level from the GNRA. If you look at the level right down to the other end, well, you know, they've done it all right, but the car dealers have filled it again. And right now they've brought the gravels here to come and top it up, which will be higher than the other end, which we don't want. And they did it without the supervision of the assembly. So I had to inform the assembly for them to come and stop them. You see, before you do anything, you have to go and consult the assembly for them to come and show you the right way you do it. So this is what I'm against. So right now, I'll be grateful if they remove all these chippings out of here. This is what I want. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm say, engineer now obey ahano gwatano. My level of engineer and kasa my level of annuana buy no engineer na na fele any the workers. Na fele. Ya na metu omuka. Ya na metu omuka. Nti enyame na me ye engineer na obey gwatano. Na ma me level of he say enu sa level we pepepe ma me ntra. Engineer no ema me say no ana anwea na e buy ni nyina engineer ne ni workers e na fele ya ha enyam na me fele nti omu wie no na say wagya ho okọ na o say ene me fa abo enye dan enguso nti engineer ne ma me authority engineer na obeye kwan we no ma authority say me fa abo enye dan enguso ono so na ma me level of grounds ni nyina ono na ye bibia e ma me ansa na me ye nti enye me de me pe engineer no so no omama no permit say onfa enye gota no ti ono so na hwe say menye ne sa pepepe.
So basically what he said is that no, he actually refutes the claim by Sir Edward, saying that this has been supervised by the engineer who as well worked on the drain, and that he even funded this leveling whilst they did the work. So we'll be speaking to experts from the Ablekuma Central Municipal Assembly for them to also take us through. You need to understand exactly what has been done. Yes, from a layman's perspective, I am not an expert, but I can see that yes, a drain has been constructed. It used to be a gully, a very wide opening, but it isn't so. And I can see some receptors, about 3 of them, at various intervals where the water, the volume will be flowing from one point to the other till it joins a major drain. But when we are joined by the experts, by the engineer, he will be able to tell us exactly what has transpired, what has happened, what has been done right here to then address the perennial flooding situation at New Abossey, Okai. I am now joined by Engineer Justice Abdoni to then explain to us what the project entails. Welcome to Metro TV's Community Watch, Engineer.
Thank you very much, my brother Abudai.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you
it was very heated the first time we met, but today we can see great improvement or difference.
Yeah, sure.
Take us through, what exactly have you been up to? What have you done here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Referencing the last interview, we assured you that indeed this is a massive project and it involves a lot of resources. So stakeholders came together. The assembly came out that this is our budget that we can use to assess the project. The owner of the this structure, that's the GRA, also came on board. And we all sat down. They came out with designs from Hydro. So all the stakeholders, NADMO, Hydro, Ablikuma Central, and the property owners.
I understand at some point even the regional minister's office was involved.
Yeah, sure. And the regional coordinating council, led by the regional minister, also wrote to us. And as we speak, we are responding to the letters with what we have done, as we can all see now. So fortunately, we all came together, and then we did assessment. Then we looked at the budget that can do the work. The GRA man did well. Yes, he came out with the amount that he can offer. The assembly also did its part. And then we started the whole project. It wasn't easy though, but today you can see the outcome. So far so good. We are through with the drains, and we are waiting for the rains to set in. Okay. And then we see the final results.
So a layman sees a drain, but what exactly have you done? What are the components? What form of drain have you provided for the area?
Yeah, we have done open 0.9 drain, and we have also done chambers, catchment area. We have also actually divided the flows into two. This here goes through the main one, linking the highway, and then this is also another outflow where we have overflows. The excess water will go through the other channel, also through to the main road. So far that is how we have done the construction, and hopefully we are waiting for the rains to set in. Yes.
But the expectation is that what has been done will adequately cater for the flow of water and then avert the flooding we've been seeing here each time it rains.
Yeah, sure, exactly. That is our final, hope that what we have done will solve the problem, so that all these properties on this stretch will be saved. And myself and you will also tap our back that we have done a good work. Yes.
So yesterday, whilst I was speaking to the residents, then Edward had mentioned that the leveling of the field here may still bring about floods, because when it flows, the water may not freely have a way.
Last Monday, we invited the car dealers to our office. We told them that they are no more going to be here. We have taken steps to make sure we label here no-go zone. Yes, so that even if there's overflow, we wouldn't experience what we have been experiencing for the time past. So we have even given them the instructions to take all this material off here, and then let's leave the place as it is. Yes, so that is what we have done so far.
Thank you very much. So authorities have their eyes on the ground, and having worked hand in hand with residents, they are going to ensure that sanity prevails right here. And previously, or prior to this intervention, each time it rains, this area or community becomes terribly flooded, with several properties, including the cars here, affected. But through a collaborative effort, we are seeing good news. So let's continue to partner, let's continue to reason together and have our common challenges addressed, so together we make our society a better place to be. Many thanks to Engineer Justice Abdoni and the Municipal Chief Executive, Honorable Mariama Amui, the Regional Minister, Honorable Henry Kwote, the owner of the GRA building, Sir Edward, the Kwantimpong and his colleagues here, everyone who has been part of this engagement. And as well my team, Pinto, and then Desmond, Rosemary Kokwa Anyigba, Joseph Frimpong, Joshua Tariadom. Thanks for watching. Make time with us next week. Bye-bye.